Hello Pythonistas, welcome to Pythonista Geek channel. So today we are going to learn about conditional branching in Python. So what is basically conditional branching? It is very simple and very advanced topic, I can say. This is very basic for this advanced topic of conditional branching. So to give you a real time example, I can say you like just imagine while you were on your 10th grade, or if you are going to be in your 10th grade, or just imagine if you're a smaller grade child, just imagine you're in your 10th grade and you have completed all your exams. Now comes the decision making factor, right? What will you choose? Are you going to choose computer science, or are you going to choose biology, or are you going to choose commerce? So these are the three conditions which you are having. So according to the choice, you will be leading a very different life. If you are going to choose computer science, then you may become an engineer, you may become a tester, you may become an artificial intelligence developer, or something like that. You may become, or you may become even a mechanical engineer or some electrical engineer. You may become a scientist. So these are all the options which is available under an computer science category. If you're going to choose a science category like a biology, you may become a doctor, you may become a pharmacist, and these are all the options which is available in biology category. If you're going to choose the commerce category, you may become a chartered accountant, you may start a business, you may run your own business. So your 10th standard makes you to make a decision, right? So that is basically conditional branching, I can see. So we are going to deal with all the probabilities available in each and every given program. Basically, I can see the conditional branching work like, if I am going to write if some condition, we can see condition. So if this is the condition I am going to work on, then if this condition is true, then I will see some things which I am going to do in this particular condition. Like I can say I will do x x x, y y y, and z z z. And if not this condition, there can be some other option also that comes under elif. Elif means nothing but else if. Else if this was the condition, then I will be doing some other set of task, right? So that will be like not xxx, it is going to be yyyy. And if both the conditions are not true and I have no more conditions to be checked whether it is true or false, by default we will be going to the else. Else is not going to have any condition because it is a by default one. So if it is an else, then what I will do in the else part? I will be doing maybe A. So this is how in Python we are going to write the condition. Very simple. In Python, till now whatever we have learned is our program will execute only from top to bottom. It will not skip any lines of code. But here, once you reach this if condition, once the compiler sees there is an if, then what will happen is it will check whether this if condition is going to be true or false. So these conditions only return boolean values which is either true or false. If it is true, then these lines of code will be executed. If it is false, then it will check to this condition whether it is true or false again. And to be more precise, I can say if a true block is already executed, all these other blocks will not be executed because it has already executed one block at a time. And if this elif is also not true, then it will come to the else part and it will execute this particular line. So I can be more precise saying that in this whole if and elif and else concept, only one set of block will be executed. It will not execute each and every block. And as we already know, Python is very user friendly. So we no need to write any brackets or any parenthesis kind of thing. for explaining this conditional branching. So I will just share with you a bit of code for you to understand this conditional branching in an easier manner. So this is the code. So first we are getting the input from the user for her name, and then we are asking for the password. So we are checking if the password is equal to Pythonista. So if the user presses the password as Pythonista, then the condition is true. So it will be printing password is correct. If the user presses some other thing other than Pythonista, then the condition is false. So we are going to print password is not correct. It is very simple, right? Only one block of code will be executed at a time. Either it will print line number 4 or it will print line number 6. It will never print line number 4 and 6 together. So as I already said, Python syntax is very easy. We are going to write the if, and the condition which we are going to do, we already know the equal to operator is going to return us either true or false only. So we are using this operator to check whether a condition is true or false. If the condition is true, then we are going to have the block of code which is going to be executed once the condition is true. That block of code can be more than one line or a single line also, that is easily identifiable with the help of a tab. Like an if condition is being proceeded with a tab, so until and unless we have the tab, those number of lines will be coming under the if condition block. I can also print another line. Wow. So both the lines are going to be printed if the condition is true. Until and unless there is a tab, this is going to work. If there is no tab, then the program comes to the else part. Else part is optional. So you can come to the else part, or you can directly write without the tab also. So that only if the condition is true, this set of code is going to be executed. So we are easily defining what are the set of code to be executed with the help of tab, and it is not like we are going to make brackets or parentheses unlike in Java or any other programming languages. So we can just run this program and see what happens. Here see it is asking me enter a name. So I am going to write Shravanti, and if I am going to enter, it is asking me enter your password. I am going to write a correct password for you and show what is the answer. So if I wrote the correct password, it is saying password is correct and wow. If I am going to run this program again and show you what will happen if I am going to write a wrong password. So I am going to write my name and the password. I am just typing something. I am pressing enter. Password is not correct. So either line number 4 or 5 will execute, or line number 7 will execute. It will not execute all the lines at a time. Okay, now we can see another example for our elif statement also, so that it will be easy for you to understand. For elif statement, maybe we can take a code where we are going to get the input from the user and try to find whether the number is odd number or even number. And if it is like 0, we are going to print the number is 0. Okay, so that is the program we are going to do. So for that, as we know before, we are going to get the input from the user. Num is equal to the input which the user is going to give is going to be an integer. So I am writing int and I am writing input. Enter a number. So we got the input from the user. Now we are going to check if num is equal to 0 as the first condition. If it is 0, then what we are going to print? We are going to print the number is 0. What will be the next condition? The next condition here will be elif, right? Elif, how can we check a number is going to be an even or odd? With the help of the denominator. With the help of the reminder. If we get a reminder to be equal to 0, then it is an even number. So if the reminder means percentage symbol, reminder of the number which the user has printed is equal to 0, then I am going to print it is a even number. Except even number, all the other numbers are automatically going to be odd numbers. So I am just writing else print it is a odd number. Now we can run and see this program. Enter my name, enter my password. So enter a number. So first we can try with 0. The number is 0. It is executing this block of line because we have checked if number is equal to 0. It is true. So it is executing the 11th line. We can run again. And now we can make an even number. Maybe 100. It is an even number. It is printing correctly because it is first executing line number 10 and checking whether the number is equal to 0. Here in this case it is false. So it is going to the elif statement and here it is checking if the number modulus 2 is equal to 0. Since this condition is true, it is printing even number and the program completes its execution. We can run again. Now check with the odd number. Now I am going to say 101 as my number. See, it is correctly printing. It is an odd number because since both of these conditions are not true, it is automatically coming to the else statement and printing whatever available in the else statement. Yeah, so this is a brief about the elif conditional branching. I guess you understood it in an easy manner. And to be more precise, I can say else is not a compulsory thing. Even without else, the code works in a good manner. And even without elif also, the code works in a good manner. The only compulsory thing is the if statement that you're going to write only if you're having any conditions to be checked. To be very simple, this is all about the conditional branching, which I can say, and this is the basics of artificial intelligence. So if we are very much clear about conditional branching, then it would be really easy for you to move forward. And if you have any doubts in this particular session, you can always ask me in the comments below so that I will be very much happy to solve all your problems and all your doubts. And yeah, if you have any other topics which can be delivered in a very easy manner by me, you can also say those things in comments below. And yeah, do subscribe to the channel and like the videos if you really love it. And do share the videos with all your friends who are the Pythonista geeks. That's it friends, this is Shravanti, bye bye.